3 weeks into the first leg of the epic Velux 5 Oceans Round the World yacht race, and the leading competitors are currently off the coast of South America, having battled their way through the notoriously unpredictable doldrums. With a race comprised of 5 ocean sprints that circumnavigate the globe, this first leg takes place over 7,400 miles from La Rochelle in France to Cape Town, at the tip of the African continent. Despite having had his boat knocked flat early in the race, American Brad Van Loo remains out in the lead. But the 42-year-old is becoming increasingly concerned about the pace of his Polish rival Zbigniew Gutkowski, now only 142 nautical miles behind.
Good, very early morning aboard Lake Penguin. Actually, it's not all that good of a morning aboard Lake Penguin this morning. I've just gotten done downloading weather files, and it looks to me as if there's nothing I'm going to be able to do to stop the inevitable of Gutek taking the vast majority of our lead over the next couple of days. And most likely what will happen is that we'll consolidate down here in a little high pressure area off the coast of Brazil that's going to come off the coast of Brazil later this morning. And it looks to me like, if the weather files are accurate, the next 2 days will be excruciatingly slow for LP and myself. And Gutek will be able to keep moving and pull back most of our lead, which is very frustrating. We've been working really hard to put down a decent lead here. It's sort of the ebb and flow of yacht racing, and what makes it interesting to watch. But for those of us involved on the giving end, not something that we really want to see happen.
Van Loo may be feeling the pressure, but it hasn't been plain sailing for his Polish rival, generally known as Gutek, either. The 36-year-old has been recovering from a nasty cut to his head received last week courtesy of his onboard wind generator.
Mam nadzieję, że już więcej tam nie będę chodził, ale chociaż muszę czasami podejść do steru, sprawdzić. Także nieprawdopodobnie, na 100% przerobiłem maszt, na którym jest osadzona elektrownia wiatrowa, żeby już więcej takich wypadków nie było.
Holding steady in third place is Canada's Derek Hatfield in his boat Active House. The 57-year-old had an exasperating time crossing the doldrums, but finally made it to the equator, symbolically shaving off the moustache he has sported for 38 years to raise prostate cancer awareness.
Turn some light on here.
The Canadian lies 569 nautical miles behind the leader, but seems satisfied as his boat pushes on further south.
It's early in the morning on November 4th here on Active House. We're headed south as fast as possible. The trade winds have been excellent the last week. 3-4 days since leaving the doldrums has been excellent time. And I'm getting lots of sleep and feel much better, much more rested. It'll be interesting to see how Gutek and Brad handle the low pressure systems at the bottom here to see if they're going to be able to get around and cut some miles off. But I'm watching closely to see if we can do the same thing. But everything's going well, and I'm feeling much better in the second part of the leg. The first part was much more troublesome.
After 18 days at sea, skipper Chris Stanmore Major remains in fourth, having lost valuable time marooned in the light airs close to the Portuguese coast. Dramas with one of his sails ending up in the ocean and an onboard diesel spill didn't help matters, but the Englishman is determined to try and catch up with Derek Hatfield one position ahead. With a race start beset by problems, Belgian Christophe Boulen's luck hasn't improved much over the last week. The man in fifth place had to make an unscheduled stop in the Canary Islands for repairs following issues with his mainsail. Boulen's has now rejoined the race, but has a lot of time to make up on the rest of the field. Race leader Brad Van Loo and the chasing Zbigniew Gutkowski are expected to reach the first stopover in Cape Town in about 10 days' time.